Hey, what's up guys? And in today's video I want to talk to you about the liver flush. What is the liver flush? Is it safe to do? And how do you perform it? I'm also going to give you a quick background as to why I did the liver flush. So yeah, let's crack on. The reason why I did the liver flush is simply because back in 2016 I was suffering from some severe burning sensations in the upper right quadrant of my chest. It was very similar to the symptoms that my mother was experiencing a while ago, because she actually had a gallbladder attack, and the pain actually radiated from the right side towards the centre and up just beneath the right shoulder blade. And so I had the same thing. I had pain just beneath the right shoulder blade, radiated towards the back of the neck, and I thought, yeah, this is strange. This feels like a gallbladder attack. I'm pretty sure this is a gallbladder attack. So anyway, I went to see my doctor. I told her exactly the symptoms that I was experiencing. I told her I had, the pain in the lower right shoulder blade. I had pain here on the right side, burning sensation. This is particularly after eating food. But despite all that, she missed the obvious signs of a gallbladder attack, and she just said, yeah, here, take some antacids. So that pissed me off a little bit. And then from that point onwards, I kind of lost faith in seeing my medical doctor. So then I came home and I thought, well, let me just try and have something really greasy. So the next day I was at the office and I consumed a really, really thick, greasy, heavy pizza. And sure enough, 20 minutes afterwards, about half an hour to 20 minutes afterwards, I had the same pain, a really burning, nasty sensation in the centre of the right of the chest, slightly towards the centre. And it was really, really uncomfortable. It would make me sweat. It lasted about 3 to 4 minutes. And I had pain again, the lower right shoulder blade radiating towards the back of my neck. And sure enough, that confirmed to me, in my opinion, that sure enough, that was a gallbladder attack. So this then led me on to researching natural ways of purging gallstones and liver stones. Well, gallstones initially, but then I discovered that actually there's this method called what's referred to as the liver flush. And when you do the liver flush, you purge gallstones, but you also purge liver stones as well, because everyone has liver stones. And so when I looked into this, I came across a chap called Andrea Mortis, I think it's Andrea Mortis. I'll pop a link to his channel in the description. The guy was an absolute legend. Unfortunately, he has passed on, which is a real shame, because he was a really, really, really nice guy. He was a naturopath, so he was always looking at alternative medicine as opposed to today's conventional medicine. And he also opposed vaccinations as well. So anyway, long story short, I looked into his method, and he mentioned apple juice, and so I performed a liver flush. And I'll actually be showing you some pictures on the screen. So if you're a bit squeamish, or you've got a weak stomach, then I'm just giving you a warning that I will be showing you images of the liver stones that I was able to purge. So I performed the liver flush. So how do you perform the liver flush? Okay, so basically for 5 to 6 days, and you can choose either 5 to 6 days. I think I did 6 days. So 6 days you consume almost no fat. You're just eating salads for the 6 days, and then you're also drinking apple juice, and this is pure organic cold pressed apple juice. Okay, and the reason why you consume apple juice is because apple juice contains acetic acid, and the acetic acid actually goes in, and as your liver metabolizes the acetic acid, it softens the stones within the liver, so it makes it easier for the stones to traverse through the biliary ducts when you perform the liver flush. So that's the diet basically for 5 to 6 days. So you consume salad and you just drink pure apple juice. And then on the day of the liver flush, so let's say you choose to do it on day 6 or day 7, you're still consuming nothing. I'm just trying to think now. Actually, yeah. So on the day of the flush, so let's say it's the 6th or 7th day that you choose to do the flush, you eat nothing from 11 a.m. onwards. Okay, so you stop eating food altogether from 11 a.m. You consume nothing but water. At 6 p.m. you consume Epsom salts. Now Epsom salts is basically the same salt that you use to lie in your bathtub to relieve yourselves of aches and pains. Professional athletes often use Epsom salts because Epsom salts contains magnesium. In fact, Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, and what magnesium sulfate does is it actually relaxes the muscles. So when you sit in a bath full of magnesium sulfate, it actually penetrates your skin and gets to your muscles, and eventually your muscles become more relaxed. And this is the reason why it also relieves aches and pains, is because your muscles become more relaxed and blood circulation improves, and so you reduce aches and pains. So you consume Epsom salts at 6 p.m. and you consume 180 milliliters of Epsom salts. So that's basically 180 milliliters of water with 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts. You mix that stuff up, drink it down. Maybe in half an hour to 60 minutes, you'll have to run to the bathroom and basically, let go, because it does give you the runs. And the reason that it gives you the runs is because it contains magnesium, and magnesium, when it goes inside of your guts, it actually relaxes the gut, and it also dilates the bile ducts as well. And this is why you consume Epsom salts, because if you don't do the Epsom salts and you perform the liver flush, if you get a blockage, it's going to hurt, and you're going to have an attack. Okay, and it's going to be really painful. So 6 p.m., 180 milliliters of water, mix 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts, drink that down. Within an hour or half an hour, you have to run to the bathroom, do your business, come back. At 8 p.m., you do the same thing again, 180 milliliters of water with 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts, drink it down, and you're going to have to frequently run to the bathroom, okay? Then at 10 p.m., and I recommend you actually prepare this beforehand just to save time. So at 10 p.m., you consume 200 milliliters of olive oil, pure organic olive oil, and we want to try and keep everything organic as well throughout the entire process. So 200 milliliters of olive oil mixed with 200 milliliters of citric acid, and that could be either pure organic lemon juice or it could be pure organic grapefruit juice. There are some other alternatives as well, but I think most people tend to use grapefruit and lemon juice. That tends to give them the best results. I actually use lemon juice. 200 milliliters of olive oil, 200 milliliters of lemon juice. Put the two together. Now what you find is obviously you've got oil and you've got this citric acid. It's not going to mix. So what you need to do is shake the stuff up really, really good to the point where it emulsifies. So you're going to have to shake it for a good 2 to 3 minutes. And what you find is it becomes this really, really, really strange green, almost like milkshakey type substance. And it's not nice to drink, I can tell you right now. But what you do is you prepare this, okay? You prepare this concoction, and at 10 p.m., this is after you've drank your Epsom salts, you consume the olive oil and lemon juice combination, drink it down as fast as possible, and then you lay down on your right hand side and you go to sleep, and you do not move, okay? So you lie down on your right hand side, you don't move, you wake up the following day, and in the morning in the morning you consume Epsom salts again. So as soon as you wake up, okay, if you don't need to use the bathroom, then you should consume another 180 milliliters of water mixed with 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts, okay? And then you're going to need to run to the bathroom. So sure enough, go to the bathroom, and what you find is you may release some stones, okay? So in the beginning, you'll probably release maybe 3 to 4, 5 to 6 stones in the morning. But then because you've had the Epsom salt in the morning as well, what you find is you're going to have to run to the bathroom again. And it's on this bowel movement that I find, normally on the second or third bowel movement, you release all these stones. All these stones just come out, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. I can't believe this was actually inside of me. And that's what happened to me. So the morning after, basically, you drink Epsom salts twice, okay? So you wake up, you consume 180 milliliters of Epsom salts, 180 milliliters of water with 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts. Then 2 hours afterwards, okay, 2 hours afterwards, you consume another 180 milliliters of water mixed with 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts. And basically, that's it. You're done with the Epsom salts. So in total, you'll need 720 milliliters of water. That gives you 4 portions of Epsom salts. So 2 the night before, and then 2 the morning after. So again, 6 p.m. and then 8 p.m. And then in the morning, as soon as you wake up, you have your first portion. 2 hours afterwards, you have your second. And then what you find is you'll have frequent bowel movements afterwards. Not throughout the entire day. You'll probably have 3 to 4 bowel movements. You'll get rid of loads of stones. You'll be shocked at some of the stuff that comes out. And that's it. And then you want to give it maybe 2 p.m. up to 2 to 3 p.m. Start to introduce food back into your system, but you want to make sure this is low-fat food, okay? So you want to make sure you're eating salads, and then slowly start to reintroduce food slowly start to introduce fat the following day. So the day you actually purge yourself of stones, you want to make sure you're eating low fat, and then the next day you can start going back to slightly more fat, and then obviously you can start eating as normal. You could usually start eating as normal the following day afterwards, after you've purged your stones. I'm going to bring up the stones on the screen in just a second, but before I do that, let's just talk about some of the benefits of performing a liver flush. As I said earlier, allergies. It will get rid of allergies. So, well, not entirely, but for some people it does entirely. For some people it reduces their symptoms significantly. So we're talking about hypersensitivity to dust, maybe some eczema that you've recently developed. So you've never had any case of eczema in the family before, and you've got this dry skin, this itchy skin. That will almost vanish, if not completely, almost completely. You'll also find, and this is not just me, but there are many cases of people who've performed a liver flush. They find themselves to be a lot happier afterwards, full of a lot more energy, and just generally a much more positive feeling. And I find this to be the case as well. I had so much more energy the following day. It was really weird. It was very strange. But so yeah, and so when I got rid of these stones, that confirmed to me I was right from day one. That these pains, these aches and pains that I was having, this attack that I had, was indeed gallstones. And the funny thing is, just before I bring these pictures up on the screen, my wife actually had a gallbladder attack not long ago, and this was last year, 2017. I think it was like January, February time, 2017. And so this is around 8 p.m. So we had to go and see an out-of-hours medical doctor. And the first thing that he said, and I knew straight away it was a gallbladder attack because the symptoms again were the same as mine. And we went to this medical doctor, and he very calmly said, "Yep, we're gonna have to take out your gallbladder. I'll refer you to your regular doctor, and you'll be sent to the hospital to get it removed." And I just thought to myself, wow, is that what doctors do in this day and age? They just very calmly recommend people get their gallbladders removed. And it's from that point onwards that I realised, you need to take your own health into your own hands. Yes, doctors are great, and yes, they are there to listen to you, and they should listen to you, but a lot of times they look at things superficially. They don't always prescribe the best course of action in order to deal with the problems that you're facing. So I recommended she do the liver flush as well, and she did the liver flush, and she got rid of boulders. I'm not kidding, guys. Like, she got rid of some huge stones, some massive stones. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up the liver stones on the screen now, and you can have a look and see exactly what I was able to eliminate from my body. And I highly recommend that you do this if you're also suffering from dull aches around the gallbladder area. You generally feel sluggish. You just feel that you want to go on a detox, and I just highly recommend it. So I'm going to bring it up on the screen now for you guys. Okay, so what you're looking at is the first bowel movement the morning after drinking the lemon juice and olive oil, and you can see there's not many stones released in this bowel movement, just a few small stones, but you can see quite clearly they are indeed stones. These are released from the gallbladder and the liver, and you can see that it's covered in that bile pea green colour as well. So the second bowel movement, you can see there's a lot more stones, a hell of a lot more stones. If you pay particular attention to the way that some of the larger stones are actually, they've got smaller clusters. They've got a cluster of stones basically attached to them, smaller stones, and this is basically the way the stones form within the bile ducts. So when you get one stone forming, you've got other bile ducts that lead. Essentially, you've just got this great big biliary tree, and there are multiple points of exit for the bile to flow. And what happens is, if you've got one stone and you've got all these other bile ducts meeting the same path, you end up with, because you've got that one blockage, you then end up with another blockage on top of another one, if that makes sense. So what you're seeing here, if you look at the towards the left at the very bottom, you'll find the two bigger stones that have the small clusters surrounding them. Again, these were all from the gallbladder and liver. There were some further bowel movements that looked very similar to this. So yeah, some pretty nasty stuff, but it felt good getting rid of this shit. Okay guys, so that was the nice collection of stones that I showed you there. If you like this video and you find the information useful, please like, comment and subscribe. And if there's a particular topic that you would like to know more about, maybe how to deal with particular types of illnesses, please feel free to drop a comment below. I'm going to keep producing these videos, and hopefully you're going to benefit from them. So In the next video I will actually be talking about sugar-free sugar, which is great for diabetics, okay? I'm not going to give you too much information now, but if you subscribe, you'll get notified when that video is uploaded. I'll speak to you guys soon.